Ireland hosts one of the world's most prominent organized crime syndicates, a group with extensive associations and a wide array of intriguing activities. Its origins trace back to its founder, a father, and today the reins of power are firmly in the hands of his sons. This narrative delves into the history of the Irish Kinahan organized crime group, covering their emergence, conflicts, achievements, and their infamous status on the global most wanted list. Stay tuned, as the Kinahans are a force to be reckoned with in the criminal world. The story unfolds in Dublin, revolving around Christopher Vincent Kinahan, famously known as Christy the Dapper Don Kinahan. Christopher Kinahan's life is nothing short of intriguing. In 1986, he found himself entangled in a heroin-related incident involving a significant haul valued at £117,000, a substantial amount for that era. This unfortunate circumstance led to a 6-year prison sentence. However, contrary to expectations of idleness behind bars, Christy proved to be a remarkably intelligent individual. During his incarceration, he pursued and successfully earned 2 college degrees. Notably, he declined early release opportunities, prioritizing the completion of his academic pursuits. It raises the question, would you have made the same choice? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In addition to his academic achievements, Christy Kinahan also mastered the art of speaking both Spanish and Dutch. It's widely believed that Christy is proficient in 5 languages, a skill that greatly facilitated his establishment of international connections within the criminal underworld. And establish them he did. Christy Kinahan's journey into a life of crime was not predetermined. It was a conscious choice he made. Raised in a middle-class family and educated at one of Ireland's finest schools, he had the opportunity for a different path. However, following his initial run-in with law enforcement in the 1980s, he veered further away from the straight and narrow. In fact, he became increasingly entangled in the criminal world, transforming smuggling into a highly lucrative enterprise driven by grand ambitions. For his sons, Daniel and Christy Jr., there was little room for choice. Their father naturally integrated them into his illicit business dealings. In the present day, there are strong suspicions that Daniel manages the day-to-day operations of the Kinahan organization, while Christy Jr. is believed to oversee the financial aspects. Over the past few years, Daniel Kinahan has emerged as the public face of the Kinahans. He strategically positioned himself as a sports promoter, taking a significant step in 2012 when he founded MGM, which he later rebranded as MTK Global. The name MGM might ring a familiar bell. Although Daniel's MGM originally stood for Macklin's Gym Marbella, the MGM Grand Resort and Casino in Las Vegas understandably couldn't overlook the similarity in names. This led to a naming dispute, prompting Daniel to rename his venture as MTK Global. In the subsequent years, he diligently transformed it into a management and event promotion company specializing in boxing and mixed martial arts. During this time, he notably secured the signing of heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury to his roster. Despite his efforts to use the world of sports as a means to reshape his public image, MTK Global continued to be closely associated with his criminal activities. Consequently, he made the decision to step down from the company's leadership. Nevertheless, he remained a prominent figure within the boxing realm, with Tyson Fury publicly acknowledging Daniel for his role in facilitating the agreement for the highly anticipated fight between Fury and Anthony Joshua in 2020. However, MTK Global faced persistent challenges in achieving substantial success due to Daniel's affiliations, and this ultimately led to the authorities seizing their operations in April 2022. Within the realm of the criminal underworld, conflicts and rivalries often simmer among various factions. The Kinahan family has had its fair share of such confrontations, with the most significant one being their feud with the Hutch gang. This feud reached such a boiling point that it exacted a heavy toll in terms of lives lost, most notably a pivotal figure. The origins of this bitter rivalry trace back to a fateful day in 2015, specifically on September 24th around 11:30 a.m. Gary Hutch found himself targeted by the Kinahan faction while on the Costa del Sol. Notably, Gary Hutch was the nephew of Gerard "Jerry" Hutch, a notorious figure often referred to as the Monk. Henceforth, we will use the Monk to designate Gerard Hutch, who served as the leader of the Hutch gang, an equally infamous criminal organization. Gary Hutch had served as a crucial figure within the Kinahan family's operations, often referred to as Daniel Kinahan's right-hand man. Reports suggest that their collaboration soured due to a dispute over financial matters. with Gary even contemplating the permanent removal of Daniel from the equation. Upon learning of Gary's intentions, Daniel issued an order for Gary's elimination, a mission that ultimately succeeded. There were also speculations circulating that Daniel suspected Gary of collaborating with the Spanish police as an informant, but these suspicions were later debunked after Gary's demise. The fallout triggered a fierce and protracted conflict. On October 9th, Gary's brother Derek found himself targeted within the confines of Mountjoy prison. The Kinahan family had reportedly placed a €10,000 bounty on his head, but despite the attack, Derek managed to survive the ordeal. Fast forward to February 5, 2016, and the feud escalated dramatically. The Hutch gang launched a retaliatory strike that marked a turning point in the conflict. The Regency Hotel in Whitehall, Dublin, hosted a weigh-in event for a WBO boxing match. During this event, 5 individuals stormed into the room and opened fire. Tragically, Kinahan associate David Byrne lost his life, and Sean McGovern sustained an injury to his leg. The presumed target of the attack was Daniel Kinahan, but he had left the premises earlier. As 2016 unfolded, it would become the most tumultuous year in the ongoing feud. On February 8th, near his own residence in Dublin, Eddie Hutch Sr., the brother of the monk, fell victim to a fatal attack in what was seen as retribution for David Byrne's death. The violence continued on March 23rd, when Noel King-Size Duggan met a violent end in his car, largely due to his association with the monk. Unfortunately, the impact of this conflict extended beyond the criminal underworld, with innocent individuals becoming unintended casualties due to mistaken identities. On April 14th, Martin O'Rourke suffered a fatal attack at the hands of Kinahan associates, despite having no involvement in the feud whatsoever. The tragic pattern of mistaken identity continued, exemplified by the case of Michael Barr, who was targeted only 11 days later. He too was wrongly identified, this time as one of the individuals involved in the Regency Hotel incident. On May 24th, Gareth Hutch, a cousin of Gary Hutch, met a grim fate as he was ambushed near his residence. After a brief lull in the violence, David Douglas lost his life on July 1st. Frustrated in their attempts to directly reach the monk, the assailants targeted those in close proximity to him, as they did with the monk's associate Noel Kerwin on December 22nd. As the Hutch gang endured its own losses, they retaliated once more. On May 31st, 2017, Michael Keogh, a Kinahan associate, was attacked in an underground car park. In response, the Kinahan family struck back, tragically taking the life of Kane Kerwin, the son of Noel Kerwin, on December 2, 2017. The cycle of violence and vengeance continued to claim lives on both sides of the feud. The relentless violence of the feud continued in 2018. On January 20th, Derek Coakley Hutch, a nephew of the monk, was attacked while sitting in his car. The feud showed no sign of abating, even during Derek's wake on January 30th, as the Kinahan faction demonstrated a complete lack of respect by targeting Jason Molyneux, who had just returned from the wake. The intensity of the conflict appeared to wane for a period, primarily due to the incarceration of many of the shooters involved in the earlier incidents. However, on December 22, 2018, the violence resurfaced. Eric Fowler, who had connections with the Kinahan organization, fell victim to an attack by 2 individuals in his own driveway. While I have highlighted the most significant cases, it's important to note that there were numerous other smaller or failed assassination attempts during this period. In total, at least 18 individuals were tragically affected by the feud, with the majority belonging to the monk's camp. Since the outbreak of the feud, law enforcement agencies have launched a significant crackdown. Over 70 members of the Kinahan gang have been apprehended in operations spanning Ireland, Britain, and Spain. This intensified pressure forced the Kinahan family to adopt a more low-profile stance for a period. Concurrently, the Kinahans played a pivotal role in essentially dismantling the Hutch gang. However, they didn't limit their activities to domestic matters. They expanded their influence on the global stage. In a striking development, the most prominent narcotic smugglers in Europe forged an alliance, giving rise to what became known as the Super Cartel. This powerful union, established around 2018, included the Kinahans, along with key figures such as Ridouan Taghi, Aidan G., Raffaele Imperiale, and Richard R. Together, they exerted control over a substantial portion of the cocaine trade in Europe, amounting to about 1/3 of the market. This collaboration was a departure from the typical rivalry among top drug lords, as these individuals recognized the strength they could derive from working together rather than competing for the top spot. Operating from Dubai, Each member of this alliance brought their unique skills and capabilities to the table. By pooling their talents, they achieved a level of influence and power that exceeded even the most ambitious expectations. It seemed as though their potential had no bounds, and they indulged in opulent lifestyles in Dubai, splurging hundreds of thousands of dollars on luxury cars, jewelry, and more, all while overseeing the distribution of kilos of cocaine across Europe. Dubai had long served as a sanctuary for criminals, lacking extradition treaties with any other country, making it an attractive destination for those who felt invulnerable. However, in recent years, foreign nations exerted pressure on Dubai to take action against these criminals, who had been living freely and feeling untouchable within its borders. Unfortunately for the criminals, their immunity came to an end. Imperiale, Edenji, and Taghi were all apprehended in Dubai, a development that took them completely by surprise. Meanwhile, Richard R. was captured in his home country of Chile, marking the downfall of this once mighty alliance. The unraveling of the super cartel has led to some intriguing developments among its members. Raffaele Imperiale, for instance, is currently engaged in discussions with Italian law enforcement, cooperating as an informant. Eden G, on the other hand, encountered a stroke of luck. According to Dubai police, the Netherlands took an unusually long time to send the necessary extradition papers, which ultimately led to Eden's release. This unexpected turn of events has compelled Eden to maintain an exceptionally low profile for obvious reasons. Meanwhile, Ridwan Taghi's trial continues in the Netherlands, with the expectation looming that he will receive a life sentence upon conclusion. This leaves the Kinahan family as the last standing members of the super cartel, as Eden G remains in hiding. The heat on Daniel Kinahan, who had also resided in Dubai, prompted him to seek a new sanctuary after the capture of his associates. He is actively searching for a secure location, far removed from the reach of American law enforcement. Rumor has it that he may have found refuge in either Qatar or Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan appears to be a familiar destination for Daniel, as he has visited the country multiple times. His last recorded visit was in July of 2019, during which he participated in a charity event in Astana, where he made a noteworthy $140,000 purchase of a Champions League final ball signed by Virgil van Dijk, all in support of the Snow Leopard Foundation. However, not long after these rumors began to circulate, the Kazakh embassy in London officially confirmed that the sanctioned mob boss could not seek refuge in their country. They pledged their cooperation with international investigations, leaving Daniel Kinahan still in search of a secure sanctuary. The same dilemma extends to his brother, Christie Jr. Christie Sr. was initially believed to reside in Zimbabwe on a 12-month visa. However, Zimbabwean authorities decided to block any move toward a permanent stay for Christie Sr., citing concerns that Zimbabwe might become a new hub for his smuggling operations. Leaked documents obtained by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists revealed that Christie Sr. had been involved in a bold attempt to purchase 9 Havilland Canada DHC-5 Buffaloes from the Egyptian Military Air Force. These Buffaloes are renowned for their short takeoff and landing capabilities, making them ideal for swiftly maneuvering on short airstrips, a perfect fit for cocaine transportation. Presently, Christie Sr. has resorted to using air ambulances in Africa to facilitate the transportation of illicit goods. It has come to light that the cartel has successfully co-opted officials and secured landing strip usage, effectively taking control of a critical transport route to Europe. This development has elevated the Irish gang to a position of significant importance, second only to the Colombian cartels, effectively giving them command over Africa's highly profitable coke corridor. The situation remains fluid, and I will continue to closely monitor whether Christie can secure permanent residency in Zimbabwe. As of now, the whereabouts of these individuals remain shrouded in mystery, a situation they undoubtedly prefer. The one party keen to ascertain their locations is the U.S. Department of State. As of April 2022, Daniel, Christie Sr., and Christie Jr. all feature on the most wanted list, with a reward of up to $5 million for information leading to their arrest or financial disruption of the group. This substantial sum has motivated significant intelligence sharing from underworld sources in Ireland and beyond, as reported by Garda, the National Police Service of Ireland. The Garda's statement raises a compelling question. Are they using a bluff to play mind games with the Kinahans, or do they genuinely have individuals coming forward due to the offered reward? The answer to this question remains uncertain and open to speculation. It's plausible that the reward has indeed incentivized some individuals within the criminal underworld to provide information, given the substantial sum involved. However, law enforcement tactics often involve a degree of strategic messaging to apply pressure on criminal organizations, so it could also be a combination of both. In a bid to prevent Kinahan-related crime from reaching U.S. shores, a significant number of individuals, approximately 600 with alleged links to the Kinahans, have been placed on a U.S. travel ban list. The hacking of encrypted messaging databases has proven to be a turning point, leading to numerous criminal cases and the exposure of intricate underworld structures and connections. While the Kinahans are the last group standing from the super cartel, their fellow members now find themselves either incarcerated or maintaining an extremely low profile. While most are still awaiting sentencing, many anticipate lengthy prison sentences. With law enforcement agencies worldwide growing increasingly determined to apprehend the Kinahans, it appears to be only a matter of time before their reign comes to an end. Until that moment arrives, they continue to operate at the pinnacle of the criminal underworld. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Until next time, stay tuned for further developments in this ongoing saga.